I'm not a CRISPR expert, not at all. I work for, let me see how this works. I work for Waag in Amsterdam. We are a cultural organization housed in the building that you see there. We look at technology and how it leads to applications in society and how society reacts, and that creates a circle where we think it's very important that there is a lot of public interaction and public understanding of those new technologies. So in that building, we have an anatomical theater where this happened. This was one of the early art-science interactions in the Netherlands. It's a painting of Rembrandt van Rijn, the anatomical lesson of Dr. Tulp. The dissection theater is a space that I often organize my programs in. But we also have a laboratory, which is a kind of a community led and community-aimed laboratory for microbiology. We have a legal permission to do gene editing there on a very small spectrum of introducing a GFP protein into an E. coli bacterium for artistic reasons and for education. And we work with artists because we think artists can explain CRISPR technology in a very interesting other way because of their artistic interest to the public. So the interest of art in gene editing technology such as CRISPR-Cas is to use it as a creative tool. And often what you see with CRISPR, there's a lot of expectations among the public about those kinds of gene editing. There's not much to see. It's quite far from what you can see, what you can perceive. Here is a work of an artist we worked with, Adam Zaretsky. He worked at the laboratory of Sylvius in Leiden together with Bert Zaal, where he used an earlier form of CRISPR, zinc fingering, to change Arabidopsis plants and to change them morphologically as if they were sculptures. It's interesting why he does that, because he thinks science also sometimes is too reductionist, and he is creating a lot of new kinds of aesthetics in the Arabidopsis plants, showing a lot of new novel morphologies for artistic purposes, but at the same time creating artifacts that can be really shown to the public. The picture here you see is his work presented at the Gemeente Museum, the municipal museum in The Hague. Another work here is a work by Anna Dumitriou, who is an artist we work a lot with. This is a work that she produced, funded by the European Commission in the FET program, Future Emerging Technologies. The program was called Future Emerging Art and Technologies. It was a residency program where we invited a number of artists to work in laboratories as wide as nanotechnology, nuclear physics, quantum computing, quantum physics, and in this case, gene editing. What she has been able to do here in a laboratory in Haifa was to work on tuberculosis bacterium and use CRISPR to recode the tuberculosis bacterium into its pre-antibiotic state. So the pre-state of 1941. And 1941 was also the year in which the UK issued the CC41 campaign, saying that people should repair their clothes. It was war and there were no new clothes being produced. Hence, the people had to repair. She's repairing the TB, the tuberculosis bacterium into its pre-antibiotic state, and what she wants to say with that is that we should be very careful with CRISPR, because if we are going to use it as the antibiotics are used in agriculture, we may lose its purpose. Please allow me a last work here. It's a work that is done in our lab. You have restrictions because you're not allowed to work in living organisms. So this is a work done as a cell-free expression by Günter Seefried, Roland van Dierendonck. They coded this image, a bull's head from Dilmun, which is an area in current Iraq, where agriculture is said to have started 30,000 years ago. So this image was, using CRISPR, coded into a genome, into a DNA molecule, and then you see at your left, you see the first picture, and then the three others are decoded pictures, where they recoded it back into its picture state. So using CRISPR to create images. Last thing is, we organize CRISPR workshops with the audience where people can work with CRISPR in order to get another understanding. And that's what we learned from artists. So I think it's very interesting to see how you can work with artists to make CRISPR public. If you want to work with us, with artists that work with CRISPR, please contact me after the presentation. Thank you.